Good morning, Dr. Bob Flower. This is Tuesday, March 12th, and this is the Master Pattern Report. And we're moving right along. Achievement Forum, Master Pattern Report. Okay, it's fun. All right, so let's talk about a couple of things. Um, you recall we had last year, just about, uh, we had recommended Wendy's. Wendy's has taken off as of recently. It's gotten as high as 590, 91 somewhere. It's back down to about 545. We did take most of our profits around the 540, 545 level, and it kind of jumped up on us a little bit. Um, we still like Wendy's, but it's longer term now. Okay, we think that it may well take off at some point. That there's um, uh, while they've changed their image and they're still a good solid um, franchise type of food company, and do serve better quality, and the atmosphere is now better. The problem that they're having is a model a management model problem, um, which is that they only want a certain amount of square feet, 25,000 square feet, and of land, and it's got to be drive-in, and that's hurting them. It's very difficult in your urban areas and in a lot of your suburban areas to find those sort of requirements in any kind of location. So there's a lot of discussion about perhaps amending that model, and if they do, I think that stock's going to really fly. But in the long run, I think it'll be pretty good. Another stock that we purchased last week, and we really like it a lot, is called CSX. CSX, and it's a international transportation company. Very, very good. It has a lot of good numbers to it. The patterns on it are very promising, and it's reasonably priced for investors. It's about $23 and change. That's another moderate term, I would call it. 6 to 8 months, 9 months. We like this stock. We're looking at somewhere in the low 30s for this stock within a year. Okay. Uh, Given that our transportation system doesn't get blown up. So keep that in mind. It's something that we already have a options position on. Okay. Insofar as our good old buddies, the metals, silver, just really taking it on the chin. But we think that gold in particular and silver have hit a level here, and we expect that they will both move up this week. I think the 14th and the 15th we'll see some significant moves. Um, I don't think you're gonna you might see gold jump up a heck of a lot more than silver. Silver you might see around $30 and change. Maybe 31 by the end of the week, beginning of next week. Gold, gold is possible to go up into 1640, 1650 here, conceivably. So we're not afraid of buying either one because we're at a very solid resistance level on both. So if you want to do that, go ahead and do that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this wild run on Wall Street. And look, don't be deceived by this. This is nothing more than bankers and brokers playing their little games and feeding each other, and once in a while getting the retail market, us, caught in a trap. Where they take our money. They bait us and then switch. Um, I don't. I'm not. Well, I do believe that the market will continue up, especially the last quarter of the year. Um, I'm not crazy about investing in Wall Street at this point in time. especially given the fact that there are so many business opportunities out there, and real estate opportunities. And if you're not seriously looking at real estate by now, shame on you. And I say that utilizing my 50 years in real estate and finance as a background. Um, the problem is that people are still in trouble. Okay, people are still underwater. People are living off of their 401ks and their retirement plans, right? And that doesn't bode. That's good for now. I mean, that's showing a good picture for now, but there's going to be big trouble here, folks. I mean, I'm talking about. See, I mean, you, how could there not be? I mean, because all of the fundamentals. I mean, who saves money, and then for their 70s and 80s and possibly their 90s, and now they're in their late 50s and 60s and late 60s, and they're spending it. What do you think's going to happen when they're in their 70s and 80s and 90s? What are they going to do? Everybody going to go work at McDonald's? You know, have McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? I mean, you know, it's not it's not realistic. There's big trouble ahead, you know, and the market and the real estate market would have to make a huge comeback to correct all this. And to be honest with you, while I'm in getting back into real estate some more here, I'm not jumping in with both feet. You know, I still think it's going to be a while. You know, calling my shots and helping people right now, and I got to tell you another little vignette here. I had an old friend of mine come to see me this week, who wanted some financial help. Had some money, and she had a situation with her folks' estate, and you know, kind of surprised me. I mean, because her husband is a successful real estate guy, and you know, her family was very did very well. But I'm seeing a lot of that. A lot of the older people, a lot of the wealthier people, are reaching out for guidance, for direction. And you know, it's a little surprising to me, because in the past, they were not the ones that were reaching out, but now they are. I mean, before it was people who were going to take a shot. They were going to, you know, make their millions. They were going to take $1,000 or $5,000 and, you know, run it up into, you know, $1,000,000. But that's not the case now. People are becoming a great deal more concerned and cautious, and looking for, believe it or not, even so, they're looking for very safe but very unique, creative situations. Now, I'll tell you a little company that that I've located. That actually my daughter, who is an attorney and who has been a specialist not only in finance and real estate, but in an environmental attorney. And she found this group, this small group, which she joined, and she's the attorney for the group and an investor that has a very unique business model. And I want to tell this to you because it may apply to you, or you may have an interest in this type of investment. And what they're doing is they're providing funding and expertise to large-scale buildings, apartments, condos, and co-ops in particular, where the funding is limited, where the money is limited. And they are going in and they are doing energy cost reduction, okay, and at their expense, and then they're charging a percentage of the savings, right? And this is so far they've signed up two properties, and the returns look very promising, very promising. I mean, very interesting, very unique type of business that it's a win-win. So if you look around and if you're serious, there's ways of making money today that even in good times weren't as available. Okay. The other issue that I see with Wall Street and the economy is the euro. The European market is in more trouble than it's ever been. And while they've been able to bail out a lot of the European banks, the major banks, they've done it on the backs and shoulders of the citizens. Spain, Portugal, parts of Italy, Greece have better than 25% youth unemployment. By youth, I'm talking about under 25 years old. That's a big unemployment number. Greece has lost almost 20,000 businesses since 2009. That's a big exodus. France is getting slammed. People are, even executives who live and work in France are moving out, as well as their entrepreneurs and corporations. It's just a matter of time before they're in serious trouble. You're going to see a good deal more of this. It's all been covered up to now, because of press, because the banks don't want us and politicians don't want us to see how bad it is over there. And of course, this is all going to have an effect, an impact on us. And it's part of the transition that we talked about last week of funds and wealth from the West to the East and the South, to your South America, to Africa, and to the Far East. Okay. However, there's pain, and people are paying the price for these indiscretions of various governments and politicians, and big banks, and in some cases big institutions. So don't be deceived. Things will probably look a lot better. I think the market, what's going to happen, I think within the next couple of weeks, I think you're going to see the market pull back, especially towards the end of the month. I think we're going to see some problems. But I think it's going to be choppy through the first, second, and third quarters. But the fourth quarter of this year really looks good. And I'm talking about for the market now. Now, given that, and this is a caveat, this is a forecast. What that may mean, quite realistically, is that the end of 2013, the beginning of 2014, you may begin to see interest rates rise. In fact, I think that is what's going to happen. Okay, so trying to give you a little heads up of what's coming down the road. Now, I know there's been promises that the interest rates will hold, but that at this point it doesn't mean anything, because if you need money, if you want money, you have to pay. I don't care what rates they're posting in their ads or the government is telling you. And there's different ways in which banks and lending institutions have for generating higher than advertised rates. Okay, so make your plans accordingly. Be aware that the cost of borrowing money and doing business is really going up high, incredibly high. The new reverse mortgages, the FHA fee, the federal fee for obtaining a mortgage. Let's say we did one about 2 weeks ago, $387,000, $12,200 in fees. That's just the insurance fee. Total closing costs ran close to $18,000-$19,000. Okay, now the company did take back part of that because there are big big profits in that type of loan. However, it's a cost. So my point is, be mindful, be prepared, sit down and think these things through. Look for models that work and have worked and are as foolproof as is possible insofar as safety is concerned, and work from that. Go to our website, and we'll be glad to have dialogues with you. Our website, in case you don't know, is now wait a minute now, because I got it's www.masterpattern.net. Okay, www.masterpattern.net. Okay, have a wonderful week, and we shall see you next week.